Stray Kids and love, they don't really go together. For whatever reason, it's just not a theme that they explore often, which is confusing to me. Not because I'm a Delulu fan, I am, but because love is one of the most ubiquitous themes in art, but especially music. It's not the most popular theme. That goes to love's distant, but not as distant as we'd all like it to be, cousin, Heartbreak. But it is very close at second place. I'm pulling these numbers from a 2014 study in the Journal of Advertising Research that analyzed the lyrics of songs that reached number 1 on Billboard's Hot 100 list between 1960 and 2009. Subsequent studies have largely agreed that the list is as follows. Number 1, as expected, Heartbreak. Number 2, Desire. These are categorized as songs talking about sex, relationships, lust, and love. Number 3, Who Cares? Number 4, Number 5, I'm not reading out the whole list, I've already made my point. To really drive it home, Stray Kids have 191 songs. For fans, that number might seem a little low, and that's because I went through the effort of sorting out the different language versions, the compilation albums of Skiz 2020 and Skiz 2021, and I didn't include the Skiz record songs that weren't a part of their Skiz replay release. Mostly because I was lazy. The point is, I slimmed it down to the number of unique songs that Stray Kids have released, out of which they have 40 quote-unquote love songs. And that was after I stretched my definition of love to its limit, which accounts for about 20% of their discography. Realistically, it's not a bad percentage. Except when you consider that half of those love songs are the worst red flags known to man, and the rest teeter on the edge of being romantic and lovelorn. My point being, Stray Kids don't really fall into the trope of writing the stereotypical love songs you'd expect. They've carved out a niche for themselves by embracing themes common in the cultural zeitgeist with their own unique twist. So when they do tackle love, it's often from a less conventional angle. At least from a K-pop perspective. But don't get me wrong, this isn't a meat writing video. The twist in question isn't some artsy, avant-garde take on love, where they're pondering the complexities of human connection through poetic metaphors. No, they're out here writing fuckboy anthems about cheating, situationships, codependency, gaslighting, and more, dressed up behind a catchy hook. Nor are they the only K-pop group to do these kinds of songs. They're just the only one I've seen do it over and over and over again. They might be trying to tell us something, y'all, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I can't read. It's almost like they took the K-drama trope of the charming but problematic male lead and decided to make a whole catalog out of it. It's chaotic, it's a little toxic, but damn if it isn't entertaining. So in light of this realization, I thought it'd be fun to do a drive-by rating of these songs based on their toxicity. I'll be giving each song on a scale of 1 to 5 red flags, each tier being worse than the last. 1 red flag, this is like colorblind territory. This is I can change him territory. This is hints of a little jealousy or possessiveness, but it's like still borderline romantic. Like someone just needs to take a chill pill. 2 flags. Now we're getting somewhere. You're starting to see some questionable behavior here, but it's not a total deal breaker yet. A little emotional manipulation here and there, the ideal amount if you ask me, but to each their own. 3 flags. Welcome to Drama Central. This is where you start sending screenshots to the group chat asking, is this normal? And then getting back a chorus of, girl, no. It's messy. It's full on garbage at this point. Honestly, anything that makes you question your self-respect, but I'm vibing with it because I didn't have much of it in the first place. 4 flags. The flags are loud and proud. At this point, even your messiest friends would tell you to run. Full-blown gaslighting, codependency, and the kind of lyrical content that might have you reconsidering your life choices. And finally, 5 flags. This is a toxic wasteland. It's not fun here anymore. It's not just a red flag. The goddamn red carpet's been rolled out for you. So before anyone decides to be a knucklehead and take this seriously, don't. It's all fun and games, and maybe a learning moment. You know, big sis wireshred does tend to pop out at moments. I can't help it. Anyway, let's start with a controversial one to spice things up. Now hear me out. On Track does deserve to be on this list and doesn't get nearly as much flack as it should, and I think it's because of the unreliable narrator communicating his feelings in an altruistic way. Most people walk away thinking that it's just a love song about a one-sided crush, and I vehemently disagree. If you're interested in something like that, I recommend Sorry I Love You. That fits the description more, where one friend develops feelings for another, nothing comes of it, and the narrator ends up regretting it. This roided up version of that situation, or I guess I Love You is the tamer version, since that came later. Regardless, On Track has a similar setup. The lyrics are pretty cut and dry, that the narrator had feelings for another person, that he doesn't express to them, and in not doing so, allows their relationship to fade. However, the expectations and weight put on this flimsy connection between them is way too much, way too soon. He's up here saying things like, I can never let you go, and I can't live without you, to someone he never even confessed to, let alone dated. Don't get me wrong, you can build strong friendships that become the core of your support system, but developing such strong romantic feelings before you even know how that person operates in a romantic context is wild to me. It's something I've never understood. I'm not talking about having a cute crush on your friend, I'm talking about being head over heels in love with them. Most of the time, this kind of intense feeling is built off fantasies of how you think that person will be in a relationship rather than how they actually are. And let's be real, you can absolutely live without that person. I get that it's a song and everything needs to be cranked up to a 10, but realistically, you can walk away and be fine. It'll hurt, but you'd be surprised what you can live without. All in all, it's classic teenage romanticization that just needs to take a chill pill. One flag. Hey, remember that whole romanticizing a relationship before it even begins only sets you up for failure thing I just talked about? Well, Be Me sees that very concept come to fruition. Most of the song is centered around the narrator leaving their partner after being neglected, saying things like, I was in pain when I tried to search for you. When I look back now, I realize you weren't even there. So clearly, things didn't go well. For the most part, the song is very cold to their ex, wanting to throw them away and seeing the end of the relationship as a relief rather than grieving it. The specifics aren't really given until the second verse, where the narrator explains that the only story I dreamed of ended as just a scribble, a pointless conclusion I wrote out choked by this obsession. We were building a sandcastle in a field of snow. The narrator realizes too late that their idealized version of the relationship was never real. It was just a fantasy that couldn't survive the reality of who they were with. If you try to shape someone into your perfect partner instead of accepting them for who they are, you're setting yourself up for disappointment and heartbreak. At worst, this is hopefully someone learning a very valuable lesson to not try and fit an unsuspecting person into the mold of what you want of and from them. 2 flags. So, have you ever wanted the song version of this meme?
What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
Well, now you have it. Congrats. A mildly infuriating argument that shouldn't be nearly as universal as it is. 1 flag. I hope no one is surprised to see red lights on this list. I don't need to do any in-depth analysis of the lyrics because they're literally screaming toxicity at you. The biggest issue is purely the loss of independence. I know modern stories will tell you that abandoning yourself for another person is meant to be charming. It's not. Relying on another person so heavily for your emotional stability and well-being creates a perfect environment to be taken advantage of or dragged into a whole load of bullshit. It's not cute. It's pathetic. And let's be real, people interpret those red lights as a sexy vibe, but they're also blatantly ignoring the big neon sign of danger. Stop, turn around, and maybe even hit the gas and speed out of there. 4 flags. You know what's worse than being in a toxic relationship? Being fully aware that it's toxic and staying anyway. Venom is basically a theme song for those people who thrive on chaos. The ones who see argument and passive-aggressive comments as some sort of twisted relationship glue. It's like they're convinced that the constant drama is just foreplay with extra steps. The song doesn't explicitly say it, but let's be real, what else could they be talking about other than dancing the mattress mambo? They're trapped and they like it. It doesn't take a genius to connect those dots. But really, you could just save yourself the trouble, embrace a little solitude. Less drama, more sanity. 3 flags. I hate to admit, It's a simple song that gets a very simple message across. The relationship is over, and yet I'm still here despite not wanting to be. If I continue making arbitrary connections between songs, I'd call this the aftermath of Venom. The roller coaster of emotions that you get with someone volatile makes a lot of people perceive the returning to that relationship as proof of how strong the connection is, rather than the damaging cycle of trauma it is. Once the adrenaline is gone, you see it for what it really is. Just pain. 2 flags. Chill is just passive aggressiveness distilled into a song. We've got 2 people who are so done with each other that they've practically planned a whole choreography around calling it quits. It's like watching 2 people trying to break up in the most roundabout way possible, where they keep pretending they care about each other's feelings, but really they're just relieved to be getting out. Instead of tears and drama, they're arguing about who gets to erase the other first like it's a competition. Frequently, there are lines suggesting that fundamental incompatibilities have strained the relationship. Instead of addressing these differences early on, it seems like both parties have let things fester, leading to a cold and detached relationship where they're just going through the motions. There is such a thing as caring about another person's feelings too much. It leads people to stay in relationships like this out of obligation or fear of change rather than genuine affection. Rather than a conscious effort to be a terrible person, it can be chalked up to poor communication skills. But you did waste everybody's time by letting it get this bad, so 2 flags. I'm gonna be honest, Deep End is the only track with 5 flags. Sorry to spoil the whole video like that. Whereas other songs deal with lighter topics or even depict the narrator as being on the end of the messy behavior, there is no levity or, frankly, analysis needed here. It's just a bad time all around. Even the instrumental is just a haunting piano. It gets a little too real at times. That being said, let's go back to, the hip-thrusting sad music, please. This might be the one that pisses me off the most, affectionately. Not because of personal experiences, of course not. Happy is about Han, I can say Han, it's a solo song of his, reminiscing on a past relationship, taking responsibility, supposedly, and laying the blame for the failure of it on himself. He's wishing the girl happiness without him, and whatever she decides to do with her life, his only wish is that she continues smiling. Until the bridge, where he's basically saying, fuck all that shit I said, I didn't mean it, please come back, please, I've changed, I swear I've changed, please baby, please. Sorry about that. Stick to the script next time. 1 flag. Oh my god. This, it's not you, it's me ass song. I'm not joking. The title is literally Don't Let Me Love You. It's full of lyrics acknowledging how bad of a person the narrator is. Imagine knowing you ain't shit, doing nothing about it, and then placing the responsibility of not hurting other people because of said behavior on others. I might pop a blood vessel. Such a shame that it's a fucking bop. 3 flags. The virtue of songs like Collision lies in realizing that maybe Don't Let Me Love You's narrator wasn't that bad. At least he had the decency to, not lie about his fuckery. So what is worse than a douchebag? A douchebag who gaslights you into thinking you were the problem. Predictably, Collision's narrator wants to conveniently forget about all the couple's issues and just go back to the day we loved. Makes me want to puke. Unfortunately, I am a Collision defender. One of the best tracks on 5-star. Yeah, we can't be awake at all hours of the day. 4 flags. We're finally here, y'all. The song that inspired this video. I Like It touches on a brand of shady shit we haven't discussed yet, but it honestly depends on whether or not you have an issue with casually dating someone. And when I say casually dating, I do mean a situationship. Frequently throughout the song, they're like, don't ask me what are we, let's just enjoy the moment. That's just a code word for I don't want to commit. And to Stray Kids' credit, it seems like the members themselves can't decide if they like the concept either.
I Like It은 진짜 곡 쓴 사람들이 진짜 나쁜 사람들이에요.
왜요?
맞아요.
엥?
좋아하는데 사랑하지 말자.
그러니까 나는 너를 책임질 수 없지만
아니야, 그런 뜻이 아니라고.
이 주제는 창빈이 형이 던졌어. 내가요? 형이 던졌잖아요.
이해가 안 돼요. 그냥 저 이해가 안 돼요. 그냥 진짜 이해가 안 돼요. 그냥 그게 사랑인가요?
But I'm not asking their opinion in this video, just mine. So they get 4 flags. Now stay the hell away from me with that shit. We've finally arrived to Patient Zero. X, or Crazy Bastard, when it's not being censored, depicts the narrator again lamenting a past relationship. Damn, that's all they fucking do in these songs. Anyway, they cheated. it's said pretty explicitly. We could get into the weeds of whether emotional cheating is as bad as physical cheating, but I don't want to because I'm not stupid and already have an answer. It is. But now I'm revisiting the lyrics, and it occurs to me that they have the balls to ask the girl to come back. Why didn't I remember this? Hello? 5 flags, just for the audacity. And now they've turned me into a liar too, damn it. And that's the selection of songs I decided to use. They have more, honestly, but either they coincide too closely with a song I've already listed here, or the subtext of Toxicity is too ambiguous even for me to psychoanalyze something out of it. So no part 2. But it was fun doing this. But I want to know, how did y'all find my ranking? Agree? Disagree? I also kind of want to see what other people's ranking would be, so be a doll and let me know, okay? That's it from me for now. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.